Oh hey, didn't see you there. So if you've clicked on this video, that must mean either A, you want to get into anime figure collecting, or B, you are into anime figure collecting and are looking for some tips and tricks on how to get the best deal or buy from legitimate sellers. I know that's the case for many of you, judging by the amount of comments and messages I get on a daily basis, wondering where I get my anime figures from. Unfortunately, that answer was not easy enough for me to type out in a comment or to make a short video on, so I thought we'd sit down today, fail a few 5-star OSU maps, and answer the age-old question, where should I buy my anime figures? So before we jump online here and start purchasing half-scale Supersonico figures, we need to ask ourselves a few questions about how we're going to start this collection. This next bit is mostly going to be aimed towards the person who is just getting into figure collecting, maybe hasn't even purchased a figure yet. So bear in mind if you are a seasoned anime figure collector. In my mind, there's really only 3 things you're going to need if you're going to start collecting anime figures. The most important one is money. Second, you're going to need an internet connection. And third, you're going to need some patience. And I'll cover all those going forward, especially patience. But getting back to the planning stage, you really need to think about how you want to start your collection. If you want to start small with some Sega, Banpresto, Crane King figures, these you can purchase for $20, $30 a piece through Amazon and several other retailers online. Or if you'd rather start bigger, purchasing from companies who make higher quality figures such as Good Smile, Orchard Seed, Alpha Max, so on and so forth. A lot of these companies' figures will start right around $100 and go up even to several $100s, really depending on which one you're looking at. So you want to start with the budget. And keep in mind shipping and handling costs as well, because if you are buying straight from Japan, as we're going to see later in the video, that is going to be a noticeable cost going forth. Sometimes a third of the total is just going to be getting it to your doorstep from Japan. My recommendation for the first time anime figure buyer though is always to start with Sega, Banpresto, or Crane King. Or even Good Smile. They make some pretty inexpensive figures as well, depending on what series you're looking for. Or if you want to start with Figmas, Neandroids, any of those, they can be pretty inexpensive. That's exactly how I started my collection. My first figure was this Project Diva from Sega. This is right around $30 or so any day of the week from several online retailers. But as you can see, 3 or 4 years later, my collection has grown to what you see today. So start small. Starting with a $300-$400 figure probably isn't going to be the best bet because you're not even sure if you're going to like this. So now that we have a budget in mind, we need to get online and start looking at some anime figures. And that brings me to my next subject, and that is what I call the Bible. And I'm not talking about this Bible. And I call this the Bible because it has literally all the information anyone would ever need to know about anime figures and merchandise. No, what I'm talking about is myfigurecollection.net. And this site is amazing for several reasons, both if you are new to figure collecting or are a seasoned veteran. To start off, this site's database of anime figures is bar none. Literally thousands of figures, even some that were never released were just draft versions. They also have a huge community of users, several different articles, clubs, and forums, so if you have questions, there's somebody out there who's always willing to help. And a lot of photos of figures as well, brought from the community themselves, not just stock photos that you would see on a normal anime figure website. And that is very important for one main reason, but a lot of you ask me, how do I know if a figure is legitimate? 2 or 3 main ways to tell before even purchasing the figure if it's going to be legitimate or not. And this site helps with 2 of those. The first way to tell is to compare pictures. Compare pictures from the website listing, from pictures of the company themselves, and from the user pictures that you'll see on websites like this. That's why I love these user pictures, because they show angles, they show colors that you don't see on Good Smile's or Orchid Seed's website themselves. It's a great tool to tell if a figure is legitimate or not before even purchasing it. The second very incredibly helpful tool that this website provides is as soon as you click on just about any figure listed in their database, at the bottom of the description you'll see a warning message if a counterfeit version of this figure exists, which is quite a few of them. If you click on that link, it'll bring you to lots of different pictures that will show you counterfeit or bootleg versions of that figure. This is another great tool to use if you are not sure if the figure is legitimate or not. These pictures are user generated as well, so they're going to show off different angles, different lighting that you would see on a company's website. The third thing for me, the easiest way to tell if a figure is legitimate or not, it's kind of a two-parter. Where it's shipped from and the price. The price is always a dead giveaway. You guys are not going to find a 1/7 No Game No Life Shiro used or new for $30. It's just not going to happen. So we've seen my figure collection and how it can help you identify fake figures, talk to other figure collectors, and to just get more general information about a figure you might be interested in. And that's all fine and dandy, information's always good, but my figure collection is not a seller. It's not somewhere you go to buy anime figures, unless you're looking for used figures, but we're going to save that for another video. However, my figure collection is not done assisting us yet, as they have one more trick up their sleeve that can help anyone who is interested in buying an anime figure make sure they get a reasonable price. To demonstrate this feature, I'm going to go ahead and look up a figure I've been trying to get myself for some years now. And of course the figure that I would choose would be one of my favorite characters. That would be Taiga from Toradora, and this is the Case Q version figure, a kind of random anime figure company we'll stumble across probably a few times in this video. This is the 1/8 Tiger costume version. The reason I love it so much, other than the obvious aesthetic facts, I actually have the poster of this right here, so I would love to have the figure sitting right below this poster. I think that would look pretty cool. But we're getting sidetracked here. Let me get to the point I'm trying to make. So as you can see, we're here on the site. We can see all the standard facts, everything like that. If we go to this top right hand corner, it says buy. That will show dozens of different online marketplaces that have availability of this figure at this time. And the cool thing about all these sellers is they're all reputable. Most of them I have used at some time with varying results. We're going to go ahead and use Ninoma for this example because I like them. That's where I got the half-scale Supersonico from. They treated me really well. They have it for $2.95 right now, which is not a bad price. I've seen better, but there's a perfect example. You went from looking up the figure on my figure collection to being able to purchase one right now. And that leads me to the next point. Pretty much the main point of this video. Where should you buy your anime figures from? And that's kind of a loaded question because there's several different places that all kind of focus in different things. In the next few minutes, I'm going to go over my personal favorites to get my figures from. But, disclaimer, everyone is looking for different figures. Some people like Gundams, some people like Nandroids, some people like Figmas. So the figures that I'm looking for could be completely different than the ones you were looking for. My number one site, though, the site that I go to the most and have spent the most money on in the last, probably in the last 2 years, I guess. I haven't been using this that long, is Solaris. Solaris is by far one of my favorite sites to use. Their pricing is amazing. Their customer service is amazing. The only downside I can think of for Solaris is the layout of their website is a bit wonky. Definitely not the cleanest website I've ever seen. It is a little bit awkward, but their inventory is good. Their prices are, oh, so good.
So good and tasty.
In the next video I make, I'm going to be talking about where to get used figures from. We're going to be focusing a lot on Solaris. But like I said before, Solaris is not the only good option on where to get anime figures. There's several different online retailers that offer very good deals. It all really comes down to just what kind of figure you're going to be looking for. A lot of websites will have a point system as well, so the more money you spend with them, the more points you get on your account, which you can put towards future purchases. I'm not against this style of system, especially if you're going to be spending a lot of money with that certain website. I would rather just have more money in my pocket at the end of the day. That's why I find myself shopping more on Solaris. Here are a few honorable mentions I should bring up. This video is getting pretty long, so we're going to roll through these pretty quickly. I already covered Solaris. That's a very good place to start. That's where I usually start. Ninoma I also highly suggest. Their customer service has been very good to me, and their pricing is also very good. And they have a point system. Clamoya, I'm probably butchering all these names, but you guys get the idea. Another good website, spent a few dollars there over the years, always treated me well. AmiAmi, that's a classic, huge website, lots of different deals, lots of new figures, good release dates. HobbyLink Japan, they have quite a few different figures from Bandai exclusively, so if you guys are ever looking to get a Bandai figure, get a entry-level figure as I would say, they do have a whole bunch of different options. Big Bad Toy Store, another good one. They have anime figures plus figures from DC Comics, Marvel, Star Wars, Transformer. A lot of different options on this website if you're not only looking for anime. I believe they're US based, at least the times I've dealt with them. Could be wrong on that. Just usually the shipping's a little bit faster, communication's a little bit quicker, a little bit cleaner English. Right Stuff Anime. Spent a lot of money in my first couple years in anime. Good pricing. Very good customer service, very nice website. They always treated me very well. And free shipping as well, over $50 if I'm remembering that correctly, which is awesome, especially when you were buying quite a few things at one time. Jlist is one that I don't see on my figure collection listed, but website I've spent money on. They have several different anime and figure options. They also have a lot of adult content, so if you guys are looking for that sort of thing, I also highly recommend Jlist for that. The last two I should mention, because they're asked of quite frequently, is going to be eBay and Amazon. Now, I've personally used eBay quite a bit to purchase anime figures over the years. There's mainly one main reason why I actually do still purchase on eBay, especially anime figures, even though you do hear so much of bootleg or fake figures listed on there, which there is a ton of. Being the buyer on eBay, you are pretty much treated as a god. And what I mean by that is eBay is going to take care of you. eBay and PayPal are going to take care of you no matter what. Let's say you buy a fake figure. You contact the seller and they say, no, you can't return it, no return policy. That's not a thing. I see that a lot listed on eBay. People will sell a figure or something like that, and they'll say no returns accepted. You can't do that. You have to accept returns for some sort of reason. It arrived in a condition that was not described at all. I contacted the seller. They said no returns accepted. That's not how that works. Contact eBay. Within the end of the day, I had that money back in my PayPal, and I hadn't even sent the item back to the seller yet. Now, am I saying that you should use eBay to buy anime figures? Not really. Especially not new figures. When I make the next video about where to buy used figures, we'll focus more on eBay. And the last website that I can think of off the top of my head that I get asked a lot about is going to be good old Amazon. I don't have a ton of experience with Amazon, at least for figures. The only figures I've ever purchased off Amazon have been lower priced figures, usually Bandai or a Band Presto, which is good. They're usually very good for that, especially with the Prime shipping if you have that to your door in 2-3 days, which is pretty awesome. Typically though, when I want to buy a higher end figure, let's say $80 plus, that's when I'm usually going to hop onto one of these other websites like Solaris, like AmiAmi, something like that, because that's kind of what they specialize in compared to some random seller on Amazon. Alrighty guys, that's going to be about it for this video. I can't really think of any other advice to give you guys. I know I did skip over a lot of different other sellers online, different websites to buy anime figures, but there's only so much I could squeeze into this video. If I went over every single one, this video would be 30-40 minutes long. Pretty much my advice is, if you're on a website you're not sure about, go to My Figure Collection, ask around. I'm sure somebody will point you in the right direction. I do, however, have 2 closing pieces of advice for my fellow collectors out there. So if you stay till the end of the video, this will be your just desserts. Number 1, if you are a smoker and you have smoked around these figures for the last 20 years and are now selling them, please at least let us know in the description. It'll save everyone a lot of headache, believe me. And number 2, my biggest piece of advice I can give to anyone getting into figure collecting, especially if you're buying figures that are $100 and more, save the original box. Save the packaging, save the tape, save the wrapper, save anything that came with it, because when you go to resell it, those are the things that the serious collectors are going to be looking for. I will not buy a used figure without the original packaging. I just won't do it. And here's the honest truth behind that. We are all going to get out of this hobby at some point in our lives. Most of us, I would say. And either it's going to be based on a financial reason, and either it's going to be based around money, or you're getting married, or you're moving, or you're not interested anymore. It doesn't matter. most of us are going to be getting out of this at some point. So when you are going to sell these figures, it is going to be hugely beneficial for both the seller and the buyer if you have all the original packaging. I'm not kidding you guys. I literally save every single box. This isn't a joke, and I live in a small apartment, so if I can do this, all of you can as well too. Yeah, I'm not kidding you guys. I'm very serious about this point. This box literally takes up half my closet, and I'm still saving it. Alrighty guys, that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys got some information out of it. That was the whole idea behind this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave them down below in the comments, or you can always shoot me an email. It is listed on my channel page. I stream sometimes now, so if you guys want to watch that, it'll be in the description. Stop by, we can have a little chat. But other than that, you guys, thank you so much for watching. We have well past 300 subscribers, which is just grade A, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace. I wonder who had the best deal on that freeing Supersonico that we saw. Because I am definitely purchasing that.